From his early days through his prime, Mike Tyson was the beast, terrifying the heavyweight division. No other fighter in history had such a flawless combination of speed and power.
Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane.
Some fighters, including George Foreman, even admitted they were afraid to face him. In his 20 years long career, Tyson won 50 times, with 44 wins coming by way of knockout. Here, we'll list 10 of Tyson's savage moments, based not only on his performance, but his opponent's strength. Number 10. Michael Johnson. With his wild hair and thin frame, Michael Johnson went into his fight with teenage Mike Tyson wanting to trade blows with him. That was what young Mike loved, as he did not have to chase him around the ring. Showing remarkable lateral movement, Mike connected with his left hook to the body and took Johnson down.
Pointed it out because down he goes, the left hook.
Many were impressed that he could get up after only a few seconds while looking like the punch didn't do a lot of damage. But what followed is something that would seem unrealistic even in Rocky movies. As the fight continued, Mike ran toward his opponent before crushing him with a powerful straight right hand over his low guard.
23-pound weight advantage, and he put it all there.
The referee mercifully stopped the match while unlucky Johnson stayed on the floor for a few minutes. After the fight, he was diagnosed with a broken jaw. Number 9. Mitch Green. Going into his fight with Mike Tyson, Mitch Green was deemed the contender for the heavyweight crown as he suffered only one loss in his 18 matches. That sole defeat was against upcoming champion Trevor Berbick, who beat him by a majority decision. On the other side, Iron Mike was returning after his fight against James "Quick" Tillis, winning that match on points while not looking great in the later rounds. What looked like the biggest challenge in his career turned into a huge beatdown in New York, where blood was nothing more than a punching bag. But unlike his previous match, Tyson was in top condition until the last bell. Although he did not win by knockout, it proved that Mike's conditioning was at a peak, and he had the heart of a champion. Yet there was a lot of wrestling in this one, which gave Mike some experience for his WWE turn. Number 8. Donnie Long. Tyson was barely 19 years old when in his 9th professional fight, he faced the so-called master of disaster, Donnie Long.
I plan on boxing Tyson too. I think that I can box as good as he can. And
Long was thought to be the first real test for a young boxer, as he barely lost against strong candidates James Broad and John Tate. Heck, coming into the fight with Tyson, he bragged that he could outbox and overpower Tyson.
I'm in good shape, I feel sharp, and I feel I can outbox Tyson.
His plan about keeping Mike in the center of the ring seemed to work fine, for about 35 seconds that is. A sole left hook to the face made him visit the floor for the first time, but unbelievably he was quick back on his feet. Like a persistent predator, Tyson brought him down again, but once again Donnie was up.
Well, he nearly sent Long out of the ring with that left hook.
Tyson, Long is down, second time.
But when that left hook once more connected with his right cheek, it was all over. Master of Disaster turned into disaster in only 88 seconds.
The left hand puts him down.
Earlier in the day, I really thought that Donnie Long would be a fairly tough opponent for you. He wasn't.
Well, like I told you earlier today, if I knock him out in 1 or 2 rounds, would you still consider him that?
Number 7. Marvis Frazier. The son of legendary smoking Joe Frazier, Marvis was a heavyweight challenger with only a single defeat against Larry Holmes. After victories against many contenders including Joe Bugner, James Broad, and James Tillis, his unanimous decision victory against future champion James Smith secured him a meeting with Mike Tyson. But for the first second of the match, Iron Mike was on top of him.
Wind up even, and the 3 knockdown rule is in effect.
Cruelly attacking his head before a single right uppercut sent the unconscious Marvis to the floor.
Joe Cortez moves in to have a look.
Officially, the match was over after 30 seconds, making it the fastest win in Mike's career. The fight lasted about 5 seconds less. Nonetheless, it is said by many that Joe Frazier begged the judges to call a different time. As for Marvis, years later, he said that the single thing he remembers about this fight was a sole jab he threw. Number 6. Frank Bruno 2.
It's just a matter of time here. That's not shot. That's not that bolo Beautiful shot. Steele has seen enough.
Mike Tyson already beat British star Frank Bruno in 1989. But when they met again in 1996, Mike was highly inspired to show that even after a spell in prison, he could become a champion once more. At the time, Bruno held a WBC belt, but his first title defense proved unsuccessful. As an aggressive boxer, the British fighter was a huge target for Mike, who showed impressive movement early on, ducking hard shots. After the relatively quiet first round came to the explosion in the second. Tyson attacked early as his enemy held on for dear life and even lost a point for doing so.
Yeah, Bill Slane trying to take control, and Tyson just loading up.
By that time, everyone knew that this one will soon be over. The end came in the first minute of the third round as Tyson unleashed a ruthless combination of hooks and uppercuts, leaving poor Bruno almost lifeless. For at least that moment, it seemed like Iron Mike was back to his old self, and that the defeat against Buster Douglas would be his only loss. Number 5. Jose Ribalta.
He's George Foreman, but he's stronger than George Foreman. He's Joe Frazier, but he's faster and he's more powerful than Joe Frazier. And he's Rocky Marciano, but he's almost 30 pounds heavier than Rocky Marciano. So that combination, I think, bodes pretty well for Mike Tyson.
If we made a list of fighters who agonized the most damage while fighting Mike Tyson, Jose Ribalta would come up on top by a mile stretch. Even after suffering a dreadful right uppercut knockdown early in the second round, he was quickly back on his feet. After he was back on the floor in the 10th round and asked by a referee if he was okay, he answered, "Hell yeah."
You want to continue? Yeah, okay.
But soon after, Tyson ended him with another barrage. This was another demo of Mike's stamina, and the one and only time he ever KO'd his opponent in the final round. Number 4. Pinklin Thomas. Trained by legendary Angelo Dundee, Pinklin Thomas was a past heavyweight champion with a single defeat against Trevor Berbick. Pinklin attempted to keep Tyson away by jabbing, and it worked well, at least for a few minutes. Mike then sent a barrage of 8 shots as Thomas was barely saved by the bell. For the next 4 rounds, Tyson tried to find a way past his opponent's jab, and he finally delivered in the middle of round 6. After a tremendous 15-punch combination, Pinklin was on the floor, and Dundee graciously decided to stop further punishment.
It's over. It is over.
What made this victory stunning is that in his 15-year-long career, Thomas lost only 7 fights. Not counting his last match in 1993 when he was well past his prime, this was the first time he lost by TKO. Number 3. Tony Tucker. Largely neglected by many, Tony Tucker was an undefeated 34-0 IBF heavyweight champion when he faced Tyson. After a remarkable TKO win against Buster Douglas, Tucker was looking like the better fighter early on. Tyson was even in difficulty, but not for long. Instead of relying on one big punch, he was very patient, winning rounds and waiting for his opportunity. By the second half of the bout, Tucker looked like a beaten man,
Get inside on Tony Tucker.
only interested in showing his hugging techniques. He survived, but Mike was such a prevalent and disciplined athlete that he proved to be much more than a knockout artist, and was able to grit out a tough fight against a dangerous opponent.
Iron Mike Tyson.
Number 2. Trevor Berbick. The biggest legacy of Mike Tyson is that he made so many champions and challengers look like they had no place in the ring. While Trevor Berbick is by no means one of the greatest heavyweights, he faced Tyson at the height of his power while being the world champion. The man who barely lost to prime Larry Holmes before easily destroying Muhammad Ali suffered a massive defeat against Tyson.
See this? Tyson walking right through. He's wild with the left hook as Berbick and Tyson clips him with the left hand. Look at this combination, and Berbick ready to go.
After surviving the first 3 minutes, he was rocked in the second. After being thrown to the floor for the second time, he made his best impression of the local drunk before the referee Mills Lane mercifully stopped the match. Mike Tyson was only 20 then, thus becoming the youngest heavyweight champion of the world, a record that still holds true today.
As Trevor Berbick falls back in the rope, I don't know if he's going to be able to continue. He's got the heart, but his body won't let him do what his mind wants to. And he's counted out. It'll be scored as a knockout.
Number 1. Michael Spinks. 1988 was towards the end of prime Tyson, and the fight against Michael Spinks was the last where he was trained by his original team. Then, Spinks had a 31-0 record, twice defeating Larry Holmes and becoming the first reigning heavyweight and lightweight champion. But once he entered the ring, Jinx seemed like a man who would rather be anywhere else. Only a minute into the fight, Tyson rocked him to the floor for the first time in his career with a devastating body punch. Seconds later, Mike ended him with a powerful right hook. Spinks courageously tried to get up, but in so doing, he almost went out of the ring. This was symbolic, as he never got back to fight again. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Like Iron Mike, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed it. Until next time.